Hey there, Jacob here, and welcome to another build/presentation video. And this time around I built a electric guitar. So yeah, you might be wondering why I'm all of a sudden building telecaster copies. And yeah, let me explain. So this guitar I call the CannaCaster, and I not only call it because it's from me, from Canna guitars, but more specifically because of the body. And this body right here, or the material you see right here, isn't actually wood. So what it is, yeah, it's called Hempstone. And Hempstone, if you are familiar with my other guitars, I use for my acoustic guitars and basses and such. So for example, on this bass, you can see this material here on the back, the beige material, that's Hempstone. And it's pretty neat to make like these three-dimensional shapes. It's also pretty neat because it's just hemp, so there's no binder, no glue, no resin. It's actually just hemp fibers milled to a very high degree and mixed with water. And then when you spray it on like mold or something, you can get something like this, like the hollow body like this. And in the case of my CannaCaster here, the idea was to kind of spray it on a wooden core and just leave it on there. So it's like a thick coat on the wood. And yeah, so you get like the nice Hempstone optics, like the nice Hempstone look, and maybe the sound, of course. And also, yeah, it's much harder than the basswood I use. I used Paulownia as a base material. And Paulownia is more and more used in guitar building because it's like a very light tone wood, and yeah, it's very eco-friendly as well. So these trees, they grow very fast, like in 6-7 years you can harvest them, and they actually grow in Germany as well. So my idea behind all of this is that I actually only make the bodies and you make the guitar. So just like on these telecaster kits you can buy, there's like a body out of Elder or Paulownia or whatever. You can buy these bodies separately, and the great thing about the telecaster design is that it's standardized. So if you're from the US, for example, you can just order the Hempstone body from me, and then either build your own neck or just order a ready-made original Fender neck at your local supplier. And all the hardware, like the bridge, the pickups, the plate here. I got like a plate that's like already made. I made this myself, but you wouldn't have to. You can just buy one and basically just assemble it. But yeah, in this video I want to show how I built the whole guitar using this CannaCaster Hempstone body. And yeah, you already can see the video is going to be a little bit longer this time. And yeah, the reason for that is because I made everything myself. So I made the neck myself, I made this scratch plate myself, or I modified it. I made the tuner plate, or whatever you call it, myself, the bridge plate, everything. But anyways, please enjoy the build video. I will explain a lot while I'm going, and please make use of the timestamps down below. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can just jump to the parts where you are interested in. So for example, if you want to know how I dress the frets or build the neck or whatever, you can just jump to there. And of course, in the end, there will be a presentation video made by my good old school friend Patrick Werner. And he's also a pop producer. And you can check out the link to his Sound Better account and his Instagram and so on. Yeah, please check him out. Really appreciate him playing the guitar. And yeah, please enjoy the build. And if you have any questions, yeah, just comment down below. And I'm gonna try to make another version of this, maybe with the glue-down neck, and maybe have like another approach to building one of these CannaCasters. Alright, that's it about the concept, and yeah, let's jump in and build this guitar. So this piece here is to kind of hold it in, and later when when Norbert is going to spray it on, it's going to stand like this, and he can turn it and spray on the hempstone. But yeah, I need to have this like flush with the body. Kind of cut it off here. And then also I need to kind of make this nice and smooth. And yeah, let's see about the shape here. Alright, so here we have the body with the hemstone on it, and yeah, you can see with hemstone it's a little bit complicated to make the shape, because first of all, these concave shapes, you might be able to see it, they're like these lines, and these are created because of the tension. When it shrinks, kind of pulls a lot, and I'm curious if there's like a hollow chamber in here, because it kind of stretches like this. So yeah, for future builds I might kind of change this curve a little bit, but for this test it should work. And yeah, you can see here it kind of ripped apart, and because there's like this hard kind of turn here, and yeah, as you can see it's very stiff, and yeah, luckily it didn't like continue, and I will have like the neck pocket here later anyways, so this shouldn't be a problem. And what I want to do now is to free up these pockets again. So I filled them up with wood here and some foam at the pickups, and yeah, I made like a little template where I kind of mark where the holes are, and yeah, I need to kind of find where it is again. Normally it would be better to kind of make it solid and then kind of route it out, but yeah, I used this kit and it already had like these route outs. So I'm not sure what's in here. It was some time ago. Alright, so there's a rubber tube. I sent it to Norbert to kind of put it in, and I had like this threaded rod in here, and he said it wouldn't work because yeah, it would kind of make these cracks from the threaded surface of the rod. So yeah, he changed it to like a pipe with some rubber coating. So I need to kind of figure out to work this up. Okay. Yeah, so this doesn't look so good, because it seems like there's like, it's hollow underneath here. So I kind of lift it. Yeah, so it seems like I need to kind of redo the whole neck area, because yeah, there's like this hollow part right here, and neck, I think the neck doesn't go that deep. Yeah, I'm figuring it out right now as I go. So yeah, let's try to kind of carve this open. Okay, so it's really hard to guess where the piece here, the neck pocket, ends, because yeah, the hemstone really fused to the wood, at least here not, but on these flat areas. And now I need to figure out where it is, and I'm gonna use my template here, because I can see that here is this odd shaped cavity for the bridge pickup, and there is like a foam underneath it, so I can kind of get it out and use a router to kind of free this up, and then hopefully can align this and see where the neck pocket should be. From here, different sound. So now that I have removed all the foam, I'm gonna use this router, and it's the only router I have with a bearing on this side. So yeah, it's quite big, but I think it will do the job, and then we'll see. And here should be this cavity, so I'm gonna do this next, and then I have these two kind of points, and then I'm gonna see about the neck pocket. Problem is that the neck pocket, I got wood underneath here, so I can't kind of get it out as easily as this foam, but yeah, we'll see. I can see here that I can see against the light that here is the pocket, so I should be safe to drill in here. About here, and there's another cavity for the neck pickup. Okay, something like this. Of course, I will need to either reshape the pick guard or like make a new one. Here will be the neck pocket, and as it happens, I have a template laying around, and yeah, it almost fits. And what I want to do is kind of fill that gap here, so put in a little wedge, and yeah, put it on with double-sided tape. So as you can see, it's not quite there. That's why you always have to make like a little test piece. And what I want to do is I put some double-sided tape on here, and I'm going to put in a piece of veneer on here, and then it should be very nice and tight. As you can see when I put in the veneer, yeah, it's much better. And if it's too thin, I can always kind of sand back the neck. Okay, so I'm down to my original point here, and yeah, I need to kind of solve this problem because it lifted a little bit, and as you can see here it also lifted from the mold. Yeah, the concave shape here is too sharp, let's say, and yeah, to solve it I will simply route it down even further and put in like a shim of wood. Okay, so I've strung up the guitar, and yeah, it seems to be working. It's a little bit like the action is quite low, so, and yeah, I'm not really happy with like the neck. It's not bad, but yeah, I don't like the frets, and the shape is a little bit, yeah, too thick at the start, I would say. And yeah, I told you about the situation here. So what I want to do now is make like a fresh neck. I could use it as it is, but yeah, I want to make it really nice. And also I want to yeah, make a new scratch plate. And I got like this burl veneer here. I'm actually not sure what exactly it is, but I think it will go nicely with the beige hempstone. And also I think I'm gonna go for roasted maple neck. And let's see what I can find for the fretboard. But yeah, so let's upgrade this a little further and make it really nice, and also I'm probably gonna get like a better pickup systems. So I marked the center line, and this is where the truss rod is going to be. And the telecaster, it's facing this way, so you access it from here. And I will lay this in here, and then later, after I've shaved off this here, I will drill this hole. And I'm probably gonna make it much smaller, so just the hex key is gonna be able to get in. So yeah, this is like a 7mm hole, and I basically only need like this, maybe 5mm, so it will look nicer this way. See? Yeah. So as I said, for the scratch blade, I'm gonna use this burr veneer, and first I'm gonna mark roughly the new shape because I changed this horn, and then I'm probably gonna use this as a template for my real scratch blade. Okay, so I'm just gonna attempt to glue this on using some polyurethane glue. I hope that works. I'm not sure what kind of plastic this is, but yeah, we'll see. Sorry about the background noise. There's some kids festival outside or something. Can't control that. I'm right in the middle of the city. put on some paper so the polyurethane glue doesn't like stick on these boards. Well, seems like the pores are filled now with the glue, but yeah, I'll need to oil it and see how it turns out. So this is what it would look like with like the standard neck, but I'm gonna replace it with like a plum fretboard and yeah, my roasted maple neck. But yeah, I think this will look very nice, like in combination with the plum fretboard, like this nice reddish and light brown color. And now let's do the fretboard first. To mark the fret slots, I've first drawn the center line, and this piece is basically making it so I have like a parallel line here. I can use this 90-degree angle to mark the slots. Yeah, it looks pretty close, except the last one somehow seems very tight here. Maybe I'm wrong or the kit is wrong. So to cut the slots I have this jig. So when I saw it, it only goes down about 2 millimeters. And I have this angle here. So yeah, that I always cut like in a 90-degree angle, no matter where I move it. Now I can't go deeper. And yeah, there you have the slot, and it's always gonna be the same depth. So yeah, you can use a wedge like this, so it's like the same angle as this one to kind of clamp it. Like so. And then it doesn't move around as much. There you go. Now I'm gonna use some hot glue to glue on the binding strips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread the glue, and then I'm gonna wait until the glue is dried a little bit, and then it doesn't squeeze into the slots as much. And the nice thing about hot glue is that you actually don't need that much pressure, because it's gonna suck itself to the wood. And on the bottom side I want to have like a little bit of overhang that I can sand off later, but not too much. And now I can start putting on the pressure. And I want to go like this, so I still see where the binding's at, so that I have overhang on both sides. Okay, that should be enough. And you can still move it around a little bit at this stage, but yeah, looks good. And you see there's a little bit of overhang, and I'm gonna try to be really careful to take that off. So to make sure that the truss rod sits nice and tight, I'm using some wax. I'm gonna put something underneath here, like so. But I also want like a little bit of wax here. So just to help when the truss rod is loose, that it doesn't make any noise. And yeah, I forgot to tape off the truss rod slot, so I don't get any glue in there. And you could use something like epoxy if you don't like the moisture into this joint, because it can kind of twist your neck a little. But yeah, today it's super hot, so I think this will dry out quite quickly. And what I like about the tight bond is that if you wet a little and let both pieces start to get like a little bit dry, then yeah, it already kind of holds it in place. because that's like most difficult and annoying part about gluing on a fretboard. And that way you don't need any pins or anything else. Just wait a second. And I have this piece of aluminum beam, and it has a radius to it, so I assure that like the top surface is as flat as possible. Yeah, as every Monday for the past 2 years, the protests. Always when I want to make a video, of course. Yeah, anyways, let's finish this up. So you might have noticed that I don't have a slot for the nut, and yeah, I forgot to do that. Usually I put in the nut slot before I glue on the fretboard, but now I have to do it like this. So I use the tuner hole to kind of lock it to my router table. Oh well, I sent it through this, so the slot was too high up, and yeah, seems like I will do a headstock plate to kind of cover this up. Yeah, so I have two options. So first option would be to use the same veneer as I have on my pickguard, and also I might try to use some of the Hempstone cutoffs. So from my acoustic guitar bodies, I have always these kind of spare pieces, and it should be quite similar color. It's also this same beige color, and I might cut out a piece and try to kind of glue it on there. Okay. So on this stage I want to sand the top of this fretboard. There's a little bit of this plaster on here, and yeah, it's not perfectly straight, and yeah, I want to straighten it up before I knock in the frets, so later on I don't have to do much leveling anymore. And I will mark the fretboard, and this way I will see where I have sanded already. And now I'm gonna take off the tang here, and I'm gonna use my belt sander for this, and I put on a pretty dull sandpaper, and I can use this edge here to guide the thread. So now I take the threads and I round them. And then I check if they're the right length. And if I overdo it at some point and it gets too small, I can move it down. And if it stays too big, I can move it up and kind of, yeah, shuffle them around a little bit. So now I've aligned them all, and as you can see, I had like two that were too short, so I moved them all a little down and made two new ones. So kind of break the wood here, and what this will do is it will make it much easier to remove the threads later on without tearing out the fibers from the fretboard. So yeah, it's down the line, it's gonna be very useful. So now I want to also water the neck. I'm using boiling hot water, and the fibers will rise, and when I sand it again, the surface gets much smoother. So the last step before I can finally oil it is to redo the thread ends. So some of them are still fine, but some of them are a little bit pointy. So I'm taking this file, and it has like a smooth side, so I can kind of hold it against the fretboard and then roll it over like so to get off the edge here. And in the end, just test by kind of holding your hand against it, and you can feel if it's too sharp. that, you can take one of these thread rubbers, kind of go along like this. So another trick to make it like feel very nice in the end, after you've rounded the threads, taking like this very fine sanding patch. Next step is to level the threads, and first I want to check if the neck is straight. You can see you got like a downward curve, so I'm gonna relieve the truss rod. And now it's pretty straight. Now I need to mark the threads, and now I'm using this aluminium profile, and I put some fine sandpaper in it, and I'm gonna go all across the threads, and this way I will see which stand out and which are too low, and basically get them all in line. And this is a little low here, yeah, but I'm pretty close. And make sure that the sanding beam isn't like this, so it's always following the lines of the threads, even though when I go across like this, yeah, I always want to follow the radius. Now that I've touched all the threads, I'm gonna mark them again. And now I'm gonna re-crown the threads. And if you're wondering, I modified this. It was like a Ibanez thread file, and yeah, this was like the grip piece wrapped around this, and I modified it so I have a real file, and yeah, it's much easier to kind of navigate the angle where you're at. I really like to have like this piece here, gives me more control and feeling. These side parts are too big, so I plan to do this like using maybe carbon fiber to kind of make this nice and smooth, and have a better handle on here. So I file them down until I don't see like the black marking in the middle anymore. So just barely have to touch it. So you can see there's still a black line in the middle, and I'm going just until it's gone. So after recrowning, I'm gonna use a thread rocker to see if there are still some high spots. So you hold it over there, here on the left, and then you push down on the right. And when it's rocking, like so, you know that this thread is a little higher than these two. So yeah, no. So I can see that it's rocking here, but not here. So I need to take off a little bit here. And important is to not take off too much. So if you take off too much on one thread, it has consequences on all the other threads. So you want to go just to the point where it's even with all the other threads and not deeper. And it's worth to go slow. And also holding this fret rocker, you want to hold it in the line of the strings, so not like this, because it will rock, and in the line of the strings it won't. And now I have a little bit of a sharp edge created here, and I can use a leveling file. So this is an old one. Kind of take that off. And now I'm gonna use this sanding pad to further smoothen the edge and kind of smoothen it out, so it will be faster to polish. Next I'm using some steel wool. And after the steel wool I'm going over it with these thread rubbers. And I only have to use the very last one, the very fine one, kind of polish it up a little bit. And this is just a cloth rack with some polishing compound still on it. And yeah, after that I think we are done with the threads. Okay, so let's see what we got. And that's how I do my fretboards. Okay, since the old neck plate doesn't fit, of course, we're gonna make a new one, and we're gonna use this bronze because yeah, it fits very nice to the color of the body. I haven't really marked it, but here's a little rough spot. That means it was a little lower, and I think that's where the hole is. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm gonna oil everything using a special varnish. Yeah, it's basically boiled linseed oil. And with oiling you want to apply the oil and then wait for like 15 minutes, and then take a clean rag and kind of wipe off the excess. And the hempstone actually soaks up quite a bit. So you see it's quite light when I just put it on, and then it starts to soak in and get darker. Alright, so it got a bit darker. And yeah, they are coming out like a little pattern, and yeah, it's very nice and alive, the material. So it's not like just plain. You got like these areas where it's a little darker and a little lighter. Almost looks like leather, maybe. And also I want to put some oil on the fretboard. So the sun decided to come out, and yeah, I couldn't help myself to kind of assemble the guitar and check it out, how it looks. And I think I will definitely go with like either golden or like some brass hardware. But yeah. And also, I've been looking at the headstock, and yeah, it seems a bit empty. And you might know my logo, so I got like these stamps, and I thought I might place my logo here. So on the original Fender is like written like this, and I could place it like so the arc is like matching, but I think in this orientation will make more sense. Alright, so I hope this works. I probably only have like one try. It's quite hard to place it. Alright. Yeah, it's a little bit to the side, but it follows this line quite well, so could be intended. And it looks really nice. Like no bleed out, nothing. So I will let this sit for a couple of minutes and then put on some oil and pray that it stays that way and doesn't bleed out. So I have a little bit of bleed out, so it's not perfect, but yeah, much better than I thought it would be. So yeah, quite happy about that. So the oil is dried, and before I put on the French polish, I want to lightly sand it again. So this is a very fine sanding pad, so it says 260, but it's like much finer actually. So just to kind of remove any excess oil that might be like sitting on the top, and yeah, to kind of smoothen it out a little bit. And it feels like it kind of fills the pores as well, so there's like this residue on top, and by sanding it like this you will push it into like some pores, and yeah, you actually don't even have to use much pore filling. And here with the logo, I want to be very careful. Yeah, it seems fine. Also, the same goes for the pickguard. And also the Hempstone body. A little light sand. So now I'm gonna do the French polish, and very quick word on the French polish. I put the flakes in a big bottle and mix it. So it's like this, very honey, very thick. and I mix it like 50-50 with alcohol. For the pad I'm using these bandages, and how I do it, I kind of fold them up like so, depending on how big I want it, and then this is like very nice stretch material, so I can form a nice round polishing pad like so. And then I'm using a very fine woven piece of cotton, and it's specially made for French polish, so it's nice and stretchy and it's very fine, and there are no like little fibers detaching. And to start out with the polish, I'm just gonna lay on one layer of shellac pretty generously. It's called the wash coat. And now I can feel that it's getting like a little sticky, and means there's like a little coat of French polish on there, and the maple doesn't have many pores, but I'm gonna use the polish that's on there and put a little bit in the pad still, so it doesn't really get too dry. And this is pumice powder, so it's like a stone powder. And I put it on the pad, and then some oil in there or on there, and then kind of rub it in a little bit. And doesn't matter if it's like on there a little bit, but I like to put it on the pad and then very lightly use the shellac that's on there and in the pad to kind of bind this powder and kind of push it into pores. And you need the oil to lubricate it. Because it would get too sticky otherwise. And the important thing is that you don't build up the pumice. So sometimes it can happen that like there's some build up of the pumice, and you want the pumice in the rain. So if that happens, try to use less pumice and always kind of polish out the pad until everything is like worked into the pores. And as you can see, it's already quite shiny, and in my opinion it's like a very easy and fast way to finish a neck. You don't need a spraying booth, you don't need anything, just like this little fabric and the shellac. Doesn't cost anything basically, and there's no setup time. You don't have to worry about dust too much, so if there's some dust in it, you can basically easily remove it, sand it out and polish over it. So I think it's a easy, relatively beginner friendly finish, and especially for the neck I think it's very fast and easy way to finish. And later on I really like the feel of it, so it doesn't stick as much as like this modern finishes. They tend to kind of be very sticky, and people like to prefer some just oiled necks because they are not so sticky. But I think the French polish This gives you still like this gloss finish, but it's nice and slick. So yeah, how long was this? Like 2 minutes? 3 minutes? And already pretty glossy. The pores are pretty much filled. And now I need to kind of build up a little bit more. Usually I do a session like this, and maybe 2 or 3 times a day, with like a couple of hours in between. And yeah, for the neck I like to go a little bit more on the part where you are playing. And as you can see, I already can kind of loosely touch it. Don't kind of stay on there, and always keep the head moving, but yeah, you can see already can touch it. And yeah, this is how I finish my necks. So the same as on the neck, I'm gonna start out with just shellack, and the hemstone will soak up quite a bit in the beginning. So like the way I kind of mount this is probably not ideal, but yeah, that's what I came up with. So for the output check, this one is from the kit, and yeah, it's pretty ugly, so I want to replace it and also go with the golden look. So I have a piece of brass here, and I want to have like an oval like this. So this is a kind of a mold or a template for my sound ports on my acoustic guitars. And yeah, it's a nice oval, so I'm gonna use that shape. So I found this wheel, and it almost has a perfect convex shape in both directions. I think I'm gonna try to press it. Yeah, that worked. Okay, let's see. Yeah, looks pretty good. So I ordered this plate in gold, but it won't come in time because I have to go to a guitar show like tomorrow. And yeah, I need it now. So yeah, let's make it ourselves. And I've got some brass here, and yeah, can use this as a template. And I think I'm gonna make like a ellipse shape here to match like the output jack plate. This should do. Okay, so it was quite a challenge, especially like to make this slot here. But yeah, I think it was well worth it. And yeah, let's see how it looks on the guitar. So to find the exact bridge position, I put on 2 strings quite loosely, and this way I can see where to kind of place it. I want a little bit more spacing on the high E. This looks good. Right, now what's left to do is screw those holes, and I'm actually gonna use the bridge plate to make the template. So as I said, I'm gonna use the actual bridge plate as a template. So these other holes here is from the previous bridge plate, so don't get confused by that. Yeah, it seems like I'll need to redo the finish after that, but yeah, pretty happy with the result. It's pretty much in line. It's not totally perfect, but yeah, pretty good. So for isolation, I'm gonna use this foil here, which is like sticky. So just have to stick it on. and sorry for finishing it so late at night. Yeah, I had to get ready for a guitar show, which I wanted to take this, and I needed to make some photos before that. Yeah, so it was kind of last minute, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Like, the shellac finish isn't perfect, but yeah, I think once this guitar is a couple of years old, it will give it like a nice vintage appearance, and yeah, I really like that. So yeah, that's how I made this guitar, and now please enjoy my friend Patrick Werner, who's gonna play it, and yeah, let's check out how it sounds.